going to adjourn executive session, and we do have action. Executive session. We have 2 motions.
So, motion to increase the specialist pay by 2% due to increased responsibilities after combining job functions.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. And motion to increase the chief's PTO to match the senior DCs and to increase DC freighters to 25 hours per month, and then match all executive chiefs by 2025 contingent on positive performance evaluations.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now we would adjourn the executive session. We will return to our regular board meeting. Now, F, job descriptions, finance and record specialist.
Yes, as was just referenced, we are going to propose combining. We had 4 office positions. We now have 2, and so all those job functions still needed to get performed. So we basically took the 4 old job descriptions, which were benefit specialist, office specialist, APAR specialist, and record specialist, and we combined them into 2, record specialist and finance specialist.
All right. I'll make a motion to adopt the finance and record specialist job description. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. COLA and non-represented admin staff and executive chiefs.
Did we get finance specialist too?
Yeah, I believe it was all in records and finance were in one motion.
Okay, for both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the COLA, we had talked about going to the August. It sounded like that was agreeable by the board. It helps budgeting go. As stated before, we will have to maintain the October to October through this CBA, but for non-represented, we can move to the August and August. For this 12-month rolling period, it was 9%. So we are recommending a 9% COLA for the non-represented staff and 8% COLA for the executive chief starting 1/1/23.
Any questions?
No?
No? All right, do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to give full August to August CPI of 9% to non-represented staff and 8% for CPI to executive chiefs, starting 1/1/23.
All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, BC promotional list certification.
Yeah, we just finished up with a battalion chief's promotional test. I presented you the list, but before we do that, I want to say a special thanks to all 3 candidates. I know it's a lot of work and not always easy. And also a special thanks to Whitney and Jason, DC Hodgkinson and BC Manfield for putting the test together, and then BC Shearer and DC Freighter for helping actually do the test. So it's a pretty big undertaking to do a test that size for the people that design the test, give the test, and then obviously that take the test. So I've given you the list. My recommendation is to certify the list as presented for 12 months.
All right.
I'll move we accept the BC promotional list as presented with the 3 names.
All right.
As a 12-month list.
A 12-month list, yes,
Okay.
That's right.
Making sure I'm
I
clarifying.
forgot to write that down.
All right.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
L&I fire program participation.
Yeah, we gave you a letter, a little bit of information, but really I'm going to defer to DC Osborne, who's been working on this. Before he starts, though, I'd like to say that it's things like this that was one of the reasons we wanted to expand some of the DCs. These are programs that just would have never even got looked at, let alone attempted to be implemented until recently. So, Greg, if you have anything to say or if any questions, I would direct them towards Greg.
I want to just say, last week I got to meet with the 2 representatives from L&I that actually administer this program, along with our co-chair of the safety committee, Lieutenant Todd Cole. We sat for 2 hours gaining information, and we had garnered information from surrounding agencies through some regional safety meetings. And I am still trying to find what's wrong with this program. I see nothing but positive for the fire service and nothing but positive for Fire District 4 by doing it. From making us a safer agency, updating policies and procedures, coming up with some new policies and procedures through a risk management plan, a safety improvement plan for the district, and a cost savings of up to 10% to Fire District 4 in our L&I fees as long as we're in this program doing what we need to do. The only downside I could find is it's a little bit more work for me, but I'm ready to take this on. I'm head over heels in love with the program so far.
Awesome.
So I'd just like to note that 10% is going to be somewhere around 35 to 45,000, obviously depending on what our rates are and how many employees we have in the group.
All right, any more questions on that? All right, we have a motion. All right, I'll make a motion that we participate in the L&I fire program. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Schedule fire chief performance review.
And we're a little late technically by my contract. We're supposed to have it done by November, but we never have since I've been here. But we just need to schedule because you guys need to figure out how you want to do it, and then you need a meeting. Usually in the past, one meeting to talk amongst yourselves, and then another meeting to actually have the review. So just kind of getting what you want, how you want to do it. The timeline that you want is just, again, it doesn't have to be decided tonight, but we're at that point, so I wanted to put it on the radar.
All right.
I think we should pick a date that we get together and talk about what we want to do. The three of us,
Yeah.
according to that, so we can,
Well, we can email him what our desires are, and then we can schedule a day. We can also add it to our next meeting or the meeting after that.
Yes, any meetings, but if you guys want to talk about the actual meat of the review, you'd have to have a special meeting or, an executive session. If you want to talk about just the mechanics of the review, I think you guys could do that talk amongst yourself as far as scheduling, like when you have time and when you want to do it. So if you want to do that, you could do that directly between each other. If it's what form do you want to use, that gets aligned. So I would say that would be like emailing me, and then we'll do that. And then obviously anything about the review itself has to be executive session. Answer the question.
the actual review with you, that can be an executive session,
Correct.
right? Or it should be an executive session.
We could add that to the next meeting.
I will do that.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Motion on that? Any motion on that?
No.
All right. Comments, district staff and work groups?
We're gonna, DC Hodgkinson always changes his seating arrangement by this. So we're gonna go start reverse order, and we're gonna start down with DC Hodgkinson.
So for the ops report for this month, I did a synopsis of the calls. I pared down a lot of the staffing stuff that I've reported in the past, and certainly I'd be looking for direction from you if you guys want more statistics. But our staffing, I can just say in general, has equalized out a little bit. It's normalized. We're not doing a lot of forced overtime. We've had a few shifts in the last couple weeks where we've had to force employees to work, but that was due to sick leave. So I'm pretty happy with where our staffing is. Not a lot of discontent. I don't believe with the labor group of being asked to work hours they didn't want to, and that even with a couple members being out on injury. Currently, we have a couple out on L&I. We participated in a mobilization where we did send a brush truck and an engine for some time period up to Bolt Creek. All those events were absorbed without having to use forced overtime. So I'm inclined to kind of start taking some of that information out. I only was reporting on it because it was an issue, and it seems to have righted itself, at least for the time being. I did add that mutual aid, we used to report net exchange going in and out, how much mutual aid outbound versus inbound. We're still pretty much even. I think we received 8 hours more aid than we gave out over a month, so that's negligible. So that's pretty even as far as our mutual aid exchange. I put a couple calls in there. I try to do a better job at making notes when crews go out on significant events, and so I made some notes in there for the month. I think that was for the month of August on some of the fires that our crews responded on. And then we have 4 recruits in the academy. I believe last week we had one of our members, Ethan Dodd, that got, correct me on the term, top whip? First whip award. And then we had one of our members receive the brass.
The brass tip. Ethan has now gotten first whip and brass tip, and then Mason got the brass tip.
So we got some people, we got some members that are getting some accolades at the academy, and they're just coming up on completing week 3 or 4? 4, so roughly a month in. We've had one person, I don't think I reported a meeting ago, but we've had one additional person recently get signed off as an acting lieutenant. So for bump up, so we're doing well in that category. I think that puts us up to 6 or 7 that are able to act up and get some experience as a lieutenant. That's it. So you guys have any direction on information you might want to see in the ops report? I'm still trying to figure out from my position different formats and different stuff to report to you guys. Is there anything in particular you would be interested in getting?
I was noticing here on your call breakdown
Mm-hmm.
that you have something, it says hazardous condition hazmat.
Yeah.
I know we're not really able to handle hazmat per se, you know.
So the call breakdown is right where we get from the fire stats, and that's the way CAD would put that call in, and that could be gasoline on the ground.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't have to be a natural hazmat. It could be oil. So a couple different call types would fall into that category.
Okay. And then it says rescue. Now that's people?
Yeah, it could be a water-related call, or it could be a rope-related call. I think in this case it was both water-related.
Oh, that was in August. That probably
Yeah.
went back to
Mm-hmm.
the events at Lake Stevens or something like that.
It could have, yeah, that could have been one of them,
Yeah,
and
okay.
we could have sent a boat response down to the river for
Yeah.
somebody stranded.
Once the call comes in, it doesn't have to, the call comes in, it is that way. So like if somebody says, hey, there's somebody in the water, and the first unit gets there, realizes it's a log, it still falls under there even though nothing actually happened.
I see. Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
DC Osborne.
Yes, very short report this month. But our people are doing a lot with our community outreach and things that are going on in the community. We recently participated in the Touch a Truck portion of the Snohomish Car Show. There's great weather. They had over 400 cars, record number of people coming into town. Went through 2.5 boxes of plastic fire hats, a whole bunch of stickers, people crawling all over the rigs. Brush 42 has been a hit everywhere it goes, and it was one, Captain Heike brought that down for us. It was great. So we had 4 firefighters and a group of explorers participate in that. We got an engine out to a preschool last week, which was a lot of fun. Once again, the weather was good. There was a little bit of water that got sprayed. Some fellow firefighters that used to be firefighters here that are in the fire service today's kids were at the preschool. So they were there and helped us coordinate and really made that go good. This Friday, the annual Snohomish High School Serpentine, we will be involved in that. Not to the point where we used to be with the old quint that we had and the football team riding up top. We don't have that anymore. But the fire department will have a presence with that. Captain Heike and I attended a meeting with city staff, PD, and the school district. So we're ready to go for Friday, and hopefully the kids will have good weather to go march through town. This Saturday at Snohomish Library. Going to have a crew of firefighters and a fire engine at the library. First time we've done this, but it's firefighters reading with the kids. Saturday at 10:30 at Snohomish Library. We recently participated in the Snohomish Senior Center Health Fair, where we set up a booth and took people's heart rates and blood pressures. We've done that before for them, and they like having the firefighters down there, so we were with that. And lastly, the fire district is teaming up with a company called Service Master Restoration out of Seattle, and they're providing 50 smoke detectors to Fire District 4 to get distributed. So I'm currently working with some property management groups and some targeted communities to make sure that everybody has a working smoke detector in their house. And that will start to take place. First meeting will be next week for that. They're doing a bunch in King County, and we were chosen in Snohomish County for 50 of those smoke detectors. So I'm really excited about that. That's it.
That sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grader?
I've got just a couple of things. I've been putting a fair amount of time into this software, AP and payroll software. I think it's going to do a lot for us. Just talking to the treasurer's office and counterparts, and then working with Springbrook themselves, just to make sure that it's going to meet our needs. And anyway, so I appreciate your support in doing that. It's going to be a big endeavor and a change for all of us as we change payroll and we change some things around here. But I think it's going to improve our efficiency and accuracy substantially. So appreciate that. And then I'm getting ready for a couple of audits, the MGADC audit and the SAO audit that has moved to an annual. So we'll begin doing some pre-audit stuff. I've been working on a little bit of pre-audit stuff already. We're going to be doing that through the end of the year, and then we start January 1 with those audits. So that's about all I got for you.
Can I ask you about, we had people at the Old Creek Fire?
We did, yes.
Yes, and were we going to be reimbursed some of that through the state or the federal government? And
yeah, it went to a mobilized fire within hours of when it started. So we're gonna, because of that, we're gonna get a large portion of our money back. So, and we're working on submitting that right now to the state and to the DNR.
thank you.
You bet.
Hey, a few things. We sold our 2 vehicles that were surplus, just under $13,000 for the Ranger and the Escape. So that's really good. That more than covers the extra cost for the Colorados. I was going to tell you about the MOB payments. So we had Brush 43 up there the first day, 2 engines, and then Brush 42 for, I think, 5 days. And so we'll be getting reimbursed for not only the equipment rentals, but all of the overtime for the crews that were on it or the backfill time. And so we probably should have that done hopefully the next month and sent off. So I'll have an estimate for you of what that means for us when we're done with that. Annual, yeah.
Where will that reimbursement go? In which account?
So by law, all money goes into F-70.
Okay.
And so
And then it gets.
then it gets put in as revenue, and then you guys budget it as you will. So I'm trying to keep track for you of the cost the WildM program is and the revenue in and how we're doing. And so we don't officially do that in any of our accounts because the auditor says we can't do that, but I'm kind of keeping that over here. So it just comes in as general revenue, and then it gets budgeted through the year.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. So our annual report, I sent you a draft. That's our first of the new version of the annual report since we've done the SOC and the strategic plan. Jason and I were supposed to meet tomorrow with somebody from Stone 911 to do the last little bit of data crunching we need. They weren't feeling well, so we're going to meet with them next week. And then once we have that number, we should be able to get the annual report out soon after. So if you have any thoughts, suggestions, and concerns about the draft to send you, let us know. Ms. Heike has been working on that and has done a fantastic job of building that from scratch. So really appreciate that. Just letting everybody know that October is Fire Prevention Month, and BC Mansfield has done a good job of getting all those scheduled, and crews are going out, BCs are going out to all the schools this month. We have been working with the city to ensure a safe operation for the fireworks show for homecoming. With the fire weather that's been and the fire behavior, we had some concerns, so they've done some changes, the school's done some changes, and we're trying to get overtime to man brush 42 during the fireworks. Haven't got anybody yet, right? Still hoping. We also have been working for about a year on a project that we call the digital reader boards. We're kind of got a beta test up for that. Allows us to have kind of the ongoing incidents going on for us and Surfer, because that's our closest partner, plus some a scrolling version of kind of some most pertinent updates that we want the crews to see. And so we have a beta test in the BC office and the office at 43. But we think we figured out how we're going to do it all. Bill's been working on it, and these will be able to go up at all the stations, a couple locations in some of the stations, and we can control it from here, and so we can push out information and keep it up to date and keep it live. And so I think that will be a help in that constant communication that we're trying to do for the workforce to make sure we're all on the same page. Also with the communication, hopefully you guys have seen some entering Fire District 4 signs up. They went up yesterday?
Yesterday.
9 of them went up yesterday. So that's kind of going that same route with the sign here and the sign that's going to go up the training center in 42 and 41. So just kind of getting our name out there to the public so they understand who we are and what we're doing has been going good. The fuel tank project hasn't slowed down, but we finally got over a big hump that we think we've got the permitting done. The tank's actually in Seattle. Greg has got the order in for all the readers, RFID tags for all the cars. And so we should actually, the concrete's coming in the next 2 weeks, bollards are going up, and so hopefully in the next couple of months we'll actually be pumping fuel out of here, which will be good. Quite a bit of cost savings for next year, we think. And then last, I would say that yesterday we had a meeting with the Surfer leadership. We've been trying for a long time to get this done, and we finally pulled it off. It was, I think, really productive. We set up monthly meetings now. And then I think we're able to kind of come up with ideas and then task groups to work on it. So the first thing is getting a long-term rental lease agreement between us and Surfer for the training center. So we'll be having more meetings on that specifically in subgroups, and then every first Tuesday of every month, the leadership teams will be meeting alternating locations. And so those are just standing meetings from now on. So we are really excited about what we'll be bringing to you that comes out of those meetings. So more to come on that. That's all I have.
Perfect.
With the meetings with Surfer, is there any projection that the boards need to meet together or any of that kind of stuff to help support whatever you folks are doing?
Not that I can think of now. So like if we come up with an ILA for the thing, the ILA will go to the 2 boards to adopt, but you don't ever have to meet together. The same ILA will go to you. If you guys pass it, that same ILA will go to the Surfer board. If they pass it, I sign it, Kevin or whoever they have signs it, and then it's done. And so as we work through these things, there might be contracts or ILAs or spending money. So like if we want to do a project and build something at the training center, if we need to put 25,000 in, you might have to approve that, and if they're putting 25,000 in, they might have to approve that, but I can't think of any reason we would need to meet at the same time.
Okay.
All right, any other questions?
We do have some staff there, so typically we give them an opportunity even though they had an opportunity.
All right. All right, commissioner comments? I just went through that. All right, we will adjourn the meeting at 8:56.
Thank you. Now we have to get our sign on.